Welcome to the XS Manchester Football Social with me, Joe McGrath. It is Wednesday, it's 6 o'clock, and we're bringing you all the latest in the footballing news, as well as trailing ahead to tonight's game, United against Seville. They've travelled out there. We'll be speaking to a United fan who is out there gearing himself up for the big Champions League clash. With every sort of English club doing very well over in the Champions League, Chelsea pulling out a draw last night against Barcelona. Is it time that United may fall on their sword? It might be the only English club to let down the rest of them. We'll be talking about that, as well as just reflecting on Monday's game. It's the first time we've had obviously a City and United correspondent in the same room talking about the FA Cup. We'll be talking about Pep Guardiola, and also if Jose Mourinho did what Pep did, because it's going around on Twitter, would he get the punishment that Pep got, which is nothing. Jose Mourinho could, a lot of people saying that if Mourinho was in that sort of situation, he would be deemed and he would be getting a strict telling off by the FA. We'll also be talking about Marcus Rashford, as people are calling for him to move away from Old Trafford to further his career, and Wembley is not too far away for City fans, so I'm going to be doing a sort of Wembley themed show. You'll see all about it, as well as Sheffield Wednesday is back, and name that team. It's a packed show, and I need some...
Are you going to introduce us at any point,
that's what I'm going to say. This is it. I just turned your mics up. Oh, you're
what a list. You started with the biggest list.
Steve and
Ian radio.
Ian Cheeseman representing Manchester City. Good evening, Ian. You okay?
Evening.
Steve Shaniatsky, where have you been all my life?
I went to Amsterdam.
How was it?
With my wife. It was fine. We weren't naughty. We weren't naughty. I know what everyone's thinking, but that's not why we go. We go for the architecture.
You do. I bet you do. Right,
and there's a lot to see.
Yeah, see even more. Right, so I've got a question for you. Wembley theme show today, gearing up for City's journey down there on Sunday. There have been 2 hat-tricks at Wembley. Now, my question was ruined because Harry Kane scored one earlier this season. So he ruined that one. He joined the list. So there's been 2 hat-tricks scored at Wembley. Harry Kane, I just gave away there, scored the second. Who scored the first?
Malcolm MacDonald against England against... Are you talking...
Well, no, I need to clarify. The new Wembley. The new Wembley.
That, did you?
So the old Wembley, who was it that did it in the old Wembley? Malcolm MacDonald.
Malcolm MacDonald, I was going to say.
No, you weren't.
Malcolm MacDonald, his mum invented wool.
Jeff
so you answer the next question.
Yes, all right.
You answer the next one.
I'm talking about the new Wembley.
We can't both answer that question.
The new Wembley, there's been 2 players that have scored hat-tricks. I'll give you the year, it's in 2010. You tell me what player also scored a hat-trick with Harry Kane in the new Wembley.
Was it Messi, was it?
It wasn't me. This is a texting. We need to.
Sorry. Right,
we need to tease people to the end of the show.
We need them to pay £5 a text. We've got to generate our income. Otherwise,
you do not get charged £5.
It's a joke. That is a joke.
Gentlemen, Ian, you were on last night with Forever Blue, Paul Lake. Go catch that on the podcast and also watch it on the Manchester Football Social YouTube channel. The fallout from Wigan. Have we all calmed down? Is everything all right?
I'm calm.
You calm. Yeah. Steve, you mentioned
it's Aguero doing community service in Greggs for his behaviour on the pitch after.
Your introduction there was a bit sort of skewed, wasn't it? You know, when you go on about Pep, you know, would he get the same punishment as Jose and all the rest of it, and he should do, and come on, you know.
So the brutal reality is, I don't think anyone likes Jose. That is the reality.
Some people have called saying that maybe possibly the referees have been quite sort of light on Pep Guardiola. They bring up a couple of instances, the time when Wenger kicked a bottle in the air at Old Trafford, which forced him to the stands and also got him a ban for the game after, and just mentioning Mourinho as he's been punished for lighter stuff in the past. So what I'm saying is, Steve, if Mourinho was in the tunnel and they had that tunnel cam at half-time against Wigan, don't score the scuffle, would you expect, as a United fan, for Mourinho to get banned in the next game?
It was just a bit of shouting and arguing. He didn't did he barge or any physical?
There was a bit of pushing, wasn't there? I mean,
not the ref,
to be honest with you, I've got to hold my hands up and say I've been studying all the other stuff like the fan trouble and the Aguero, and obviously I was at the game and I've not actually seen any of that footage. So that isn't me doing an Arsene Wenger. I haven't actually seen it.
I will describe what I saw because I'd gone to bed and then I found out that City had lost. So then I went on to BBC iPlayer and watched it all from 60 minutes. And then I went back to watch. The first thing I did was, I'll go back and see the red card. So I went and did that. And
was it a red card?
Oh, of course it was.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, dead cert. And then
you won't get me disagreeing with that, by the way.
And that bled into the tunnel bit, which was just a lot of not aggression, just flamboyant emotion. He wasn't really angry. And he sort of waited for the ref to come off the pitch and had a bit of a go at him. But to be honest with you, it was nice to see a bit of passion, a bit of behind the scenes footage of what's going on. I really enjoyed it.
Completely agree with you. Yeah. I watched Monday from a fan's perspective. I could say I'm neutral. You can believe what you want.
I'd love to see Jose having a go at someone. I want to see this stuff. It's fun.
I thought that if anyone doesn't like football, like that 90 minutes had it all for me. It was like end-to-end stuff. You got the giant against the sort of lesser club.
Yeah.
All the passion that was shown on the pitch.
Yeah.
All the decision-making, the referee pulling out a yellow card and pull out a red card. It was like panto, wasn't it, at one point?
He
pulls out a yellow card and it turns to a red card, then there was a goal. And then the Will Griggs on fire chant that just carried on through. City are... by far the best team this season.
If I wasn't a City fan, I'd completely agree with you. Obviously, I was at Rochdale the day before, right?
Yeah.
And I had the same emotions that you two were probably feeling when Wigan was scoring that goal and all the rest of it. When Rochdale...
Well, you found a shopping trolley with a quid in.
But I leapt up into the air when Rochdale got that late equaliser, and it was just fantastic. And of course, if you're not a fan of the big team, you're going to always want the little team to win. I get that.
Yeah.
So it would have been a great game, great enjoyment for everybody apart from perhaps the City fans.
Of course.
And so you move on.
There's no such thing as a neutral. There's whoever's team's playing and the ones that don't like that team who are watching. There's not neutral.
Most games you watch, let's face it, you know, last night, Chelsea, well, perhaps Chelsea, Barcelona's different because an English team were involved. But if you were watching Arsenal against Tottenham, one of those two you'll have more of a liking for the other, won't you? You never watch a game completely neutrally, do you?
No, you can't.
Yeah, it always changes your mind now and again. So there'll be no action taken against Pep. Don't think is the Aguero situation finished now? Or I
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, finished. It's done.
It should be, by the way, because you know we saw the foot. I've seen the footage of.
Yeah, I've seen it slowed down.
And you know he got like a slap round the head and then postured back, but he didn't really do much.
He sort of pushed the guy away because he's on the pitch and they've invaded the pitch.
Exactly.
I'm a United fan. I'm not going to pretend that this is the next Cantona incident because it clearly isn't.
No,
it's
not.
It's a guy pushing away some lad who's come on the pitch and he shouldn't be there.
It's true. Aguero was in his place of work and, guy came on the pitch, pushed. Anyone ever run onto the stage what you've been doing?
There's a thing. If there's any comedians listening, there's a thing. It's like your castle. And I was at a gig and I won't say which venue, but this massive, big steroid gym lad came on the stage and I instinctively just squared up to him. And he was like,
squared up to him?
Yeah, squared up to him. Job, what are you doing? Proper angry because he'd invaded the...
Yeah, he invaded your area.
I get
my
that.
area,
it's like a girl.
Somebody walked in now.
Yeah, someone walked in now.
Here's an example. You lay next to Mrs. Cheeseman. She reaches over and touches you. She's in your area. You got to police that, mate.
Maybe we should have stayed away from that. Well, maybe at your workplace.
This is Cheeseman's area. Get away. Mrs. Cheeseman, stay there.
The problem at home is I normally go into her area.
Oh, right.
That's the win.
James, can you clip that?
Right. There's no hidden agenda to that.
No hidden agenda. So that was the City talk. Let's move on to Manchester United. In action tonight, we'll bring you the build-up as we get it. We're going to be speaking to John, who is a Manchester United fan out in Spain. We're also going to be breaking the team news as we get 6:45. But we want to talk about individual players.
We don't want to talk about
James, I need that clip by the end of the show. I just want to replay it. Let's talk about individual players. Paul Pogba might be making a comeback, but there's one youngster,
the big baby man.
Yeah, the big baby.
Oh dear.
One youngster that is catching the headlines at the minute.
Go on, take over presenting.
We don't want you to speak for the next
said it out loud.
Ofcom's ringing.
Ofcom, yeah, James is busy. There is one area that people want to talk about, and it's Marcus Rashford. Rashford sort of pushed away at the time being. I know, Ian, you're saying, and I've heard you say this now and again, that Rashford excites you. If you were, why aren't United playing more and more
every week? Him and Mata, to me, the two absolute shoe-ins that would be practically the first two names on my team sheet if I was United manager.
So what the question is put to you is, when you don't see Rashford on the team sheet, are you bothered? Or do you, as a United fan, want to see him on the team sheet? Do you want to see him playing week in, week out for Manchester United? But he would make way for other bigger players who are, sort of more mature in their career. So would you rather see him getting a go, straight down the middle up top and put Lukaku, £75 million striker, on the bench, just to give Rashford that opportunity to grow as a player?
I think I feel sad about Rashford, because how well it can go is Lingard. He's getting the chances and he's scoring the goals. Rashford's getting the chances and he's hitting the post and he's hitting the keeper, or he's getting the yips, 2 metres from the goal mouth and just freezing. Things like that. He's overthinking it. I don't know if he needs some sort of break or needs to come on a super sub for the next few games. But I was looking at him today. He's still only 20 years old. Do you know what I mean? There's a chance he can still ferment, but Lingard's having a fantastic... Yeah, I know. Yeah, he needs to ferment because he's not having a great season.
All right.
He isn't having a great season. He's been getting chances and he's been hitting the post and hitting the keeper. And those are the two places that you don't want to kick a ball. If you're getting a chance, you want in between that bit, don't you? Clearly. I mean, obviously I'm speaking
it's a new word I'll use in commentary if I ever do commentary again. The player needs to ferment a bit more. I've never heard that expression about a footballer.
Well, it's like
educating me, Steve.
Yeah. So
grow bacterially then. You know what I'm referring to? He's only 20.
I'm so confused. There's so much to take in the 15 minutes we've been on air.
There's so much pressure on the kid. He is a phenomenal talent. It's not quite clicking for him perfectly. Lingard is the example of how it can click. That's what I'm saying. And let him come on. Sanchez is obviously going to be the first pick now. They're paying £500,000 a week, whatever it is, for him to play. Let him come on a super sub. Let him get rid of that fear of him failing if he goes on at the start, and then just build up again.
You think he plays better as a sub, do you?
I think at the moment he would feel less pressure and more confidence if he grew from super sub back into first team again. That's what I think.
Now, last season, Iniacho was in this sort of position for City as well, and what this refers to is Dennis Wise come out saying maybe for Rashford to further his career, he should look to get out of Old Trafford. But Iniacho and Rashford, I remember there were stats that going around that compared them to, and they were quite similar in the way they're progressing in their age and the goals they've scored and the minutes they've played. Rashford was a bit more, if I remember rightly. Iniacho wasn't part of Man City's plans for the future. They've offloaded him to Leicester, but he hasn't sort of clicked as well as you'd have thought he would. Are you worried that Rashford, because you could just sort of say, all right, then go to a lesser club, see what you can do, but he would learn a lot, wouldn't he, if he stays at Manchester United?
I think Rashford's a much better player than Iheanacho, I'll be honest with you, and I think if United want to send him out on loan somewhere, all right, that's their decision, but send him out on loan, don't sell him, don't do what City have done with Iheanacho. I think, to be fair, statistics... This is just my opinion, obviously, people can disagree with it. Statistics can be very, very misleading, and all those comparisons between Iheanacho and Rashford, you're right, that were happening, I thought were a bit unfair, really. I mean, you've got to make these judgments with your eyes, with what you see in games, and to me, Rashford's a better player. That's as simple as that. So he is a prospect who can be a success. Iheanacho hasn't worked at Leicester. And when you say offloaded, they got 25 million for him.
Yeah,
I'd say City got a pretty good deal there.
Yeah.
If a club was going in for Rashford now, at the minute, if in the summer, if he gets a couple more goals, maybe about 5-10 goals, what's the price tag on Rashford? He's a young player. He's played for Manchester United. He's learnt a lot. You don't spend the big bucks like you would on Mbappe over at Paris Saint-Germain for 160 million. But how much do you put on a price tag? Maybe both. The trouble is,
he's got a brand. He's got a name. He's very young. He's clearly got skills. He just needs. I think the Mourinho thing is giving him a bit of mental problems. Just the way that he manages. He's struggling with whatever his changing room tactics are with each player. But I think personally, probably 65, 75 million is what you get for Rashford at the moment.
What do you think?
I'm not sure he's worth that much. My issue, I've said this before, is that if Rashford and other players like him, and Mata, that's why I'm a big fan of his, were let off the leash more by the manager, I think you would see the real Rashford.
Yeah.
And at the moment, I can't help thinking that, like a few of the United players, he's been told, make sure you look for this, make sure you cover back, and that sort of freedom that somebody like De Bruyne has got, for example, obviously got at City.
Yeah.
He isn't able to. I'm not saying he's De Bruyne, but he can't express himself in the way that we've seen glimpses of.